Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Addy here, and finally I've come down to talk to you guys about the community transmission about Geonosis. So we're going to go in and talk about all this. We're going to see what the deal is with these ones. There's some questions that some people are asking, and that Ben over at Twitter has already pretty much answered, and I'll give you my thoughts and stuff like that. So pretty much, yeah, we're just gonna go in with this, and pretty much it says incoming transmission. Many of the galactic assault maps we have in the game conclude with final fights that take place within relatively confined spaces. So he's pretty much talking about Naboo, Hoth, pretty much like Kashyyyk, Camino, all these ones Yavin 4, Starkiller Base is there as well. Death Star. It's kind of all closed in. So what they want to do here is they want to make something a little bit more open, as you can see by this image itself. They're trying to make it a bit more wider. You know what I mean? So you got the ATTs moving in, and this is phase 2 of 3. So that's what they're trying to explain to you guys right there. We'll close this up. Let's see. Go back here. Pretty much, we'll continue on. Say the goal behind this is to create as much intensity as we can. We wanted the final stages of a map to feel like all-out warfare. This has been achieved by us creating scenarios that caused both attackers and defenders to funnel into one final fight location. So pretty much, it's just gonna say everybody in one section, no going around, no flanking. Everybody meet in the middle, duke it out. We have seen feedback that our community would like us to try and do less of this and instead end with something more open. We have experimented with this already, and the final part of Kessel extraction game mode is a good example. So if you don't know, the final part of Kessel is the rebels pretty much, they push the cargo out to the open. The Millennium Falcon comes in, and you have to push it through that hot spring kind of mining facility. You have to try to push the cargo from the interior straight to the Millennium Falcon. You got your high hills, enemies there, enemies on the side, enemies behind the Falcon, enemies on top of the Falcon. It's just trying to get into one section so everybody can fight pretty much. That's what they mean by this. For Geonosis, we are looking to take it a step further. The final 2 phases are very open, which makes it ideal for vehicular-based combat and gives it its own identity and gameplay experience that is different from what is currently available within Galactic Assault. And now they go into the vehicles. So the new vehicle that they have is called the ATTE. The centerpiece of Geonosis is the ATTE. This 6-legged armor walker is fully controllable and plays a vital role on the battlefield. One of the key differences between the ATTE and any other vehicle in the game is that they are dynamically dropped in real time into playable space as the battle goes on. This creates a lot of interesting scenarios, and we are excited to see how this plays out once Geonosis arrives later this month. So pretty much what they mean is you got your LAAT gunships that are carrying these from the films. I'm assuming that once you get enough points or so, you can go over, like maybe it's the same as like the vehicle spawns. You have like 1,000 points, you could pick ATTE or like STAP and stuff like that, and like our basic vehicle selection. And once you select it, maybe it's gonna do like a little cutscene where you're flying in, and when you land, the ship flies off, and then you can start to control the vehicle and move forward. Let's see, wait, here we go. What this also means is that you will not be able to pick the ATTE from the spawn screen. Oh, there we go. Okay, never mind. Forget about what I just said. So pretty much, I believe these come in, they're dropped, and they stay there until you jump in, hold X, or whichever one. I'm on the PC, but I play with a controller, so I hold X to hop in to other stuff or to exit stuff like that. So I guess that's what it is. You will encounter them within the environment itself. One might be dropped in just ahead of you, or might turn a corner to see one, ready and waiting for you to jump in. So this is like the old Battlefront. It's already on the map. You just run to it, you hop in, and you go ahead. So pretty much this is the walking animation. It's kind of... Where to go? Why do I have so many of this one? Let's close this. Here we go. So we're going to zoom in. Pretty much this is the walking style. There's one clone trooper up top. I'm going to answer you. This is a question that's been asked a lot. How many people, or how many like teammates or characters or whatever, how many people can enter this ATTE? And the official answer from Ben is only one person. They said it's a struggle for them to add multiple people into the vehicles. Not sure how. One pilot with the main gun, one on top as you can see here, and one in the back covering the flanks. I'm not sure why it's difficult, to be honest. Battlefront 2 Classic 2005 was able to add about 4, I believe, 4 people. Same with the LAAT gunship, was to be able to add 4 people. Potentially, I'm assuming that this might have issues dealing with the Frostbite engine or so. That might be a bit of an issue, I would assume. Not really sure what else it could be a problem with, but that's most likely the answer, is that. Pretty much the walking style, single person vehicle only. And I believe it might have the same might have 3 abilities. One is scanning, so you can see enemies around you. The second one is probably like the MTT and the AT-AT with its undercannon or heavy blaster cannon. And perhaps the last one is the turret on top, like what the AAT does. You can change the cannon, the main frontal cannons, and radar detection probably, just to see where enemies are. So there's that one. So we're going to close this. And then we go down a little bit and it says phase 1. So this is the first phase. Reactivate damaged ATTE. So I'm assuming there's going to be one ATTE that's been damaged on the battlefield. Most likely it's going to look like something like this. It's going to be downed. It's going to be a little bit damaged, or even this one here. It's going to be a little bit damaged. And you got to go up, hold X. Again, I play on the controller. Run up, hold X, and try to repair it. So this is pretty much exactly like you would play Camino. So instead of the droids attacking the cloning chip and trying to hack it and trying to, make it terrible, I guess, it's reversed. So it's the droids that are defending the ATTE while the clones come in and attack. So it's going to be pretty much the same premise. Clones attack, you get close to the ATTE, you hold X or whichever key to repair it, and there's again the timer. It's like a single ATTE, and the droids have to come in and stop you. So that's pretty much that one. The first phase is very much focused on infantry combat, with the clones needing to call in reinforcements and reactivate a damaged ATTE. During this phase, the objective of the droids is to stop them. This phase will take place in typical Geonosian canyons with plenty of pathways and cover available. So what I am assuming is that this is going to be a mix of Hoth and Crate. It's going to have the Crate underground section, and it's going to have the Hoth upper exterior section, where it's pretty much you can go in from underground, go in closer to the TE, going around closer to the TE, or just flank, stuff like that. That's pretty much my general take on what this map might be. Next up we have phase 2, hard cell troop transport. Now if you're unfamiliar what that is, it's basically this one, this troop transport, and they're on the map itself. So you have about 3 here, 4 here, one in the back. I don't know why it's doing so close there. One here, there, and there. So pretty much this was in the Attack of the Clones, where Obi-Wan, Padme, and Anakin were flying, and then Anakin was aim above the fuel cells. So they shoot the rockets here, it explodes, and Obi-Wan's like, "Good job, Anakin." And then that's pretty much what this looks like. I'm assuming when you shoot them and they blow up, that's part of phase 2. When they blow up, they might just explode. I would guess like the juggernauts on Kashyyyk, where the front driver section just explodes when you arm the bombs. Or they could potentially maybe topple over and crash in and block some sections. So you'll have to go around the other way. But we'll see. Let's see here. So we can close this one. We'll keep this one up a little bit. See, the second phase marks the shift from infantry to vehicular combat. With vehicles now coming into play, the tight canyons will give way to a vast battlefront, meaning a change in tactics and gameplay will be required. The objective during this phase is to bring down or defend depending on your team. Clones attack and bring down the troop transports. Droids defend the troop transports. Mechanically and gameplay wise, this objective is a mixture of destroy objective as seen on Crate with the generators and walkers. The hard cell troop transports are static objects that the clones need to destroy before they run out of tickets. However, they need to be weakened before serious damage can be dealt to them. Similarly to walkers, this can be achieved by using the special ability of the ATTEs. This ties into overcharging theme of Geonosis of the ATTE being the cornerstone of the battle. So what I'm assuming is you'll have to push up through this field with the ATTEs, and they have confirmed there are 10 on the map. You can have 10 ATTEs on the map. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See here, 6, 7. There's a bunch pretty much. I think I missed some. 7 here. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there should be about 10 that can be on the map at one time. I don't know if this is it. I don't know what this is. And pretty much when you get close to, so if you're like here in firing range, probably your special ability is your main weapon. Might be the cannon. The main cannon, they might change that to an ion cannon. So you would shoot the transport basically like the ion launchers for defending teams like clones. They'll grab the ion launchers, shoot it at the MTT. The MTT is stopped. Its shields are weakened, and that's how you deal damage. So my guess is that that's how they do it. Pretty much you do the same thing. You bring them close, you shoot it with the main cannon. Its shields are weak, and then that's where your whole team can come in and shoot them. Here there's 2. I'm assuming there's only going to be 2 because these seem they're out of the picture. Maybe there's 3. Maybe it's just not shown here. Pretty much this is phase 2 of the battle. This one right here is phase 2. And if you look here in the back, this section with these turbo lasers, this is phase 3. And we'll come back to this picture. So that's pretty much it. There might be 2 hard cell troop transports, or there might be 3. I'm not sure yet. I don't know. There's no information out yet. But that's pretty much what it's going to be. Shoot the ion, lower the shields, everybody else does damage. Phase 3. Secured turbo lasers. The third phase is an all-out attack by the clones. Their goal is to recapture some abandoned turbo lasers to take down the droid core ship. During this phase, the droids must do everything they can to defend the turbo lasers, or loss will be imminent. Gameplay-wise, this is a capture point, but with a twist. As noted earlier, we didn't want to create a narrow funnel towards the end of the battle, so this capture point is actually around 200 meters wide. You may be inclined to think that this could turn into an infinitely contested objective. To prevent this from occurring, the capture point can only be captured by the ATTEs. In addition to this, the capture can't be contested. So, what this here, for some that don't understand, what this here means that it's a big open area. So just picture your keyboard, that's the whole section. And if you move your finger like a stick man, like a person walking, like, you know what I mean? Your index and middle finger is like the legs. So pretty much those are ATTEs. So when you move it in, that's when the capture actually happens. And if there's any droids in the vicinity of that giant 200-meter capture point, it doesn't matter as long as there's ATTEs in that capture section. it's gonna start to capture. So what the droids have to do is they have to destroy the ATTEs in order to stop the capture from happening. I'm assuming that there's only going to be 10 ATTEs overall completely. So once you lose all the TEs, it might be game over. Or it could be one will spawn some reinforcements and another one will spawn. I think we might get into this here. But pretty much that's what it means. Even if there's droids in the capture spot, you're still going to capture it as long as you have the ATTE in there. And that's pretty much the objective, is to defend the ATTE at all costs. This creates a scenario where the clones know that they need to escort their ATTEs into the area so they can capture it. At the same time, the droids can see these slow-moving giants approach from a distance and plan accordingly. The intent here is to create the feeling of a battle where the game is not won or lost by a single person sneaking in and taking an objective. Rather, it's an entire army moving forward and playing the objective together. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to create teamwork. I, for one, happen to be cursed in multiplayer games where I feel like my team are a bunch of zombies and the enemy team are like World of Warcraft finals tournament Korean kids, if that makes any sense. So pretty much it means the whole team has to work together to capture these, and if you flank or try to capture it by yourself, it doesn't matter. You need to have teammates there with you. Now, here's another one. The new logic, ATTE as reinforcements. With the difference in objectives coming into play, we had to change up the way reinforcements work. Usually one reinforcement equals one trooper. However, for the second and third phase, one reinforcement will equal one ATTE. This means that dying as a clone trooper during these phases won't drain your team's tickets. A transition from trooper reinforcements to ATTE reinforcements happens between phase 1 and 2. So what this means is pretty much if you die as a clone trooper, it doesn't matter. You're just not gonna eat up the tickets on phase 2. And if you do get into an ATTE and you happen to die in the ATTE, it explodes or whatever, you lose reinforcements count. So I'm assuming from after phase 1, when you get to phase 2, you're going to switch up to 10 tickets. So it's going to be out of 10. Like pretty much heroes versus villains. You hit the target, the enemy team loses a ticket. It's pretty much like that. And then once you reach phase 3, I guess it might be the same. It might be a time limit, maybe. It's going to be like 10 minutes or so, 5 minutes or so to get in there. Perhaps the capture point is going to be pretty long. And maybe if you have ATTEs in there and the time runs out, it's going to go to overtime. So here's the picture, pretty much phase 2, like I said, phase 3. So I'm assuming here, so where the mouse is going, about this section here, like around here will be the capture zone. And you got to get these ATTEs through here, go up and into this spot to capture it. They might even continue this way, like around here. So that might be it, or just straight across. And once you capture it, you got these turbo lasers, and turbo lasers, I believe, where was that one? It's here. So you'll get the turbo lasers as you have these ATTEs. You'll move up, and these things will just melt this core ship. And Ben did say that there was a holy shit moment in Geonosis. I'm assuming the holy shit moment is the victory. So if the clones win and they destroy this, it's going to be like the movie. It's going to come crashing down and it's going to create a sandstorm everywhere. And there's also this little hard cell troop transport. It's knocked down. Maybe it's going to be like this as well. It might be on fire. It might explode, and just that's how it's going to be. But we'll see. Yeah, so that's that one. We'll get into this one as well. We're going to keep this a little bit. Let's see here. To give all droids a chance to help, we use missile launchers. So pretty much this is just like the ion launchers. that stop the AT-ATs or MTTs from moving so that your team can damage them. In a slightly different way, there will be more of these available, the range is much longer than normal, and the lock-on time is very short. In addition to this, droids won't be marked while holding the launcher by the other team. However, they won't make the AT-TE weakened, instead they just deal damage. So, this is a little change. When you're playing the attacking phase as droids or the Empire or the First Order, pretty much, you can see defend, red defend icons that show up on your HUD, and once it's picked up it'll say like kill or defeat or whatever, and that means that's that person that has the launcher. You need to stop them before they damage your troop transport. So they're going to be, you're not going to be able to see them. You can lock on from further away. It doesn't deal as much damage, I would assume. Perhaps maybe it'll take 10 to destroy one AT-TE. I don't think you can damage it with blaster fire. So it's probably the only way for droids to win during this phase, during phase 2, is to use the missile launchers and damage them that way. I'm not sure how long it'll be or how long it'll take, but we'll see pretty much. Living world. To bring this battle fully to life, a lot of things are going on outside the playable space, something we're calling the living world. The vistas and the feeling of a massive battle going on is crucial to delivering this experience. You're not just fighting with your squad, you're fighting with your squad as part of a huge planetary battle that is raging around you. So what this means is if you play as the droids on Kashyyyk, and when you spawn in and you're looking at your MTT from the back, if you face to the left, you can see that there are Wookiees fighting the snail droid ships, and pretty much it's the same. The Wookiees run out, they shoot, the snail droids blow up, and that's it. Even on the right side of the droids, you can see some snail droids going up the hills. So I'm assuming that's pretty much what it is. You won't be able to interact with it. You can just probably look at maybe droids versus some clones fighting it, and it just repeats. Or it could be like droids and Geonosians fighting together. Just something like it. It's not going to be like over the top, crazy, like wow, this is amazing battle. I'm assuming it's just going to be lightheaded, kind of not so interesting. And this is my opinion anyway. So it's probably like not what's happening. Let's see here. Sandstorm. Now, I think this is probably the best one, in my opinion anyway. Let's see here. Fighting through a dense sandstorm is one of the most iconic scenes from Geonosis and something we really wanted to create. So that's pretty much this. So when one of the ships crashes, I think it was the core ship from Attack of the Clones when it crashed, after they took it down and it crashed, I think pretty much it put up a huge sandstorm, and this is how they're fighting. If this is how it is, maybe it's close to phase 2 or so, or maybe it's just random like a Levolution. That would be pretty sick too. The sandstorm will occur during the transition from phase 2 to 3 when the final hard set of troop transport has been destroyed. While fighting through the sandstorm, visibility is heavily reduced, and even though you are fighting in a completely open area, you feel like it's close-range gameplay. Running through the storm with blaster bolts flying everywhere is a great experience, and definitely something which adds to the unique gameplay experience that Geonosis will offer. So again, that's this one. So after the last hard cell is destroyed, it's going to crash down, it's going to create lots of sandstorm, and it's going to create lots of dust, and you're just not going to be able to pretty much see what's going on. You know what I mean? So it's just going to be lots of dust everywhere. You're going to go in, you're just going to shoot. The only time you might see enemies is if it's close range, or you throw darts or something and they're outlined. So that's going to be super sick. That's going to take place most likely in this area here. So probably when these crash down and they explode, they're going to create dust, and it's just going to remain there for a long time. and we're just gonna have to fight through it. And here's another one, the OG9 homing spider droid. So the original gangsters here. As the clones fight their way towards the turbo lasers, they will have to clear out quite a few homing spider droids. These droids will deal significant damage to both ATTEs and troops if not taken care of. Their presence means that the ATTEs can't just blindly keep fighting or keep walking forward towards the objective. And those are these guys here. 1, 2, 3. I think this is 3 here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's most likely 10. And the Sandstorm, I'm assuming, is also from this one here. There's probably 10 of these around. Probably the ATTEs deal the most damage. I'm assuming that these homing droids, these guys, I'm assuming that they have pretty much the blaster fire here. It's going to come and hit you. It's probably like the AT-ATs, sorry. And I don't know if they're going to be moving. Maybe they will move. I don't know if they have like just a spot on the map that they stay at, or they're actually moving. And another, just really quick here, another question that was asked was, are we able to control and pilot these OG9 homing droid ships, spider droids, whatever? And the answer that Ben gave, and this is the confirmed answer, is no, you cannot pilot these. They are AI. I believe they're on rails. Maybe they move up a little bit and that's it. So it's going to take, I believe they're going to have the health of an AT-ST that's fully like level 4 like star cards health mode. So these might be about 1100 health, maybe 1500. Oh, excuse me, I have to like burp or something. So it might be 1500 health or so. And you have to pretty much destroy them to advance, otherwise they might deal like super heavy damage. So in this one, it just seems like there's a lot, you know what I mean? Like if you go down here, move this across, pretty much it seems like this looks like an AAT, I guess. It does look like a little bit like an AAT. I don't know why that's here. Mini spider droids here, so I guess these are also AI. They're going to shoot you from the side. You can probably take them out and blow them up. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to assume that there's going to be 10. It's going to be like roughly balanced out. So you got to destroy all those and continue on and go from there pretty much. Design process. Creating a new planet always brings its own set of challenges, and Geonosis was no different. The main challenge for us was around the ATTEs. We wanted the ATTE to be needed to succeed, to create more team play and focus the fight around these 6-legged giants. However, what happens if people don't know how to weaken the hard cells or don't move forward during the Phase 3? Our user interface and voiceover lines play a vital role here. It's something we have worked on a lot already and are still working on ahead of its release. Looking at it from the droid's perspective, the same thing could happen. If no one is trying to take down the ATTEs, then it will probably be an easy victory for the clones. While we have been playing Geonosis ourselves, we can never know for sure how battles will play out until it is released. Players will always find ways to play across planets in ways that we hadn't thought of, but we will certainly be paying close attention and will adapt if things aren't working as well as they should. This is amplified somewhat by the change in gameplay compared to other galactic assault planets. However, we feel that changing the gameplay like this will add more value for our players than just another classic walker phase. Next up, Geonosis will release later this month. The official release date is November 28. So that's when that one is released. And that is a Wednesday after, I believe, Thanksgiving Tuesday or so in the US. I don't know if you guys had it already. I don't understand. We had ours in October. So, yeah. It just says Giving Tuesday here on my calendar. I don't know what that means, but who cares? So that's a Wednesday. That's when that is released. So it's usually the end of the month. Yeah, we've got more to talk about, starting with with vehicles and then on to Obi-Wan Kenobi himself. As always, please do leave your feedback in the comment threads below. We look forward to deploying onto Geonosis with you this month. But one last thing before we sign off, we thought we'd give you a behind-the-scenes glimpse of some artwork in progress shots of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So here's Obi-Wan. Pretty much he has 750 health, which is kind of below Grievous by 50. He's got his abilities here. It's probably like, this is 3 meters, I guess. I don't know if this is like height as well, or 3 meters cubed. You can see him swinging his sword around, his lightsaber. And people have been asking why he has a green one. So pretty much, I believe this is just a testing phase. They use green because I believe it might be, I don't know what the official answer was, but I think green is used just because it just works and flows better with their testing ground, I'm assuming. I don't know, to be honest. So yeah, I'll Google it. I'll check the answer and I'll just put it in the description or in the comments. But that's pretty much that one. Here's the second one. This is the robe. I believe this is the same one that he was using in Camino when he went to see about the Republic Army. And then he met Jango and he was fighting Jango Fett. So that's that behind the scenes. Pretty much that's it. An early work in progress look at Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi robes. Looks good to me, to be honest. This one looks good. This one, it kind of reminds me of more Revenge of the Sith than anything. Like, especially from the game. That one, it says here, please note this is from early development, and when he arrives, he will be wielding his blue lightsaber. So this is just when he's standing still. He's just going to have this animation, not doing anything, which is cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all of the community. Oh, excuse me, I'm so tired. Community transmission. That's all it is. So hopefully you guys enjoy. I don't know how long. Oops, sorry about that. Like, warning. It just hit my face. Pretty much that's it. I believe they're gonna do more information maybe next week. They might do some more. We'll see how it goes. And we'll see from there. So pretty much I want to thank you guys for watching or listening into this and seeing how it goes. I was going to do it earlier. Power ran out. Finally got home and was able to do it, record it. So this is it pretty much. I will be doing gameplay of Geonosis from Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2 Classics, just to get it ready for this. See more. I'll try to do some more different gameplay modes in Battlefront 2. Pretty much, yeah, Geonosis looks sick. I believe it's going to be really good. I'm excited to see this. I will be doing lots of gameplay pretty much on it. Yeah, I booked the 28 off, so I can stay home, play these, drop them for you guys, and just see how it goes. So pretty much, yeah, that's how it is. So thank you guys for watching, for listening, and I'll catch you guys and girls in the next video. Peace out.